Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Client Side Chats. We have our special guest, Ron Gantt, with us. We're doing a series with Ron. And so if you haven't seen the other of five that we have, you definitely want to go and check those out too. But this time around, we're actually going to talk about the secrets of safety, right? We're going to kind of, to use your term off screen here, unveil what's going on behind here. But what are some of the things that non-safety professionals may not know about safety people? What are your thoughts, Ron?
So when we were talking about this topic, the first thing that popped in my mind is that often safety or non-safety people think that safety professionals are all about like we begin and end at compliance.
Mm.
In reality, in my experience, most safety professionals hate that.
Yeah,
Right?
I would agree.
Compliance matters. It's a thing, it's important, but like I don't know a single safety professional that's been doing this for a while that thinks that that is the end all be all of safety and that's the only thing we should ever talk about, when that sometimes feels like that's what non-safety professionals think that we want. It's not at all true. I assume your experience is similar.
Oh, absolutely. We get, if I can use the old term, pigeonholed right into all of this, right? Where it's, oh, the safety person's here. So here we go. We're going to learn about the rules and regulations of everything. And of course, that breeds frustration from us, correct?
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely, right? Because, so one of the most frustrating things, and I've found this in my work, and I'm assuming you've seen it too, is we'll often get called, in our work it's with a client, but and other safety professionals I've talked to, someone in the organization, hey,
Mhm.
is this safe? And what they really mean is not, is it safe? Is it compliant? Is what they mean.
Ah,
You know what I mean? And like, and so that's frustrating. It's like, okay, you almost have to unpack the question first of all and say, okay, let's talk about what exactly you're asking me first of all, and then I can help answer the question. And so it gets to me to one of the things you were kind of talking about, before we started recording. Safety professionals have a lot more that they could be bringing to the table, but there's sort of this almost expectation that either we can't or don't want to. So that conversation almost never comes up unless we
mhm.
force it. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
we want more for the organization, but it's often we're stuck talking about compliance because everyone just assumes that's what we need to be talking about.
Right.
Have you found
Right.
that?
Yeah, I have. And I know one of the secrets that I think I would let people who are not safety professionals know about safety professionals is we really have a lot of skills that enable us to look at systems and kind of be able to break those apart into their components to determine better safe methodologies. It can really add to the value of what people are doing within the organization. Therefore, people are now working safely, and we're not answering the question of, is this in compliance, right? Not safe, but is this in compliance? And that's my thought. I think, if there's a way that safety professionals can get that across to non-safety professionals, I think all of a sudden the view of who we are as professionals improves greatly. It opens up basically, and it becomes more of a prominent component of what it is of, hey, you know what? This person with a third set of eyes might have another idea and another thought, or at least bring something out that sparks a way to make things change in a positive direction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I agree with that. I think, what pops in my head when you were saying that is our job is about analyzing and understanding and improving work,
Hmm.
right?
Well
Fundamentally.
said.
And so if that doesn't affect other parts of the organization and they can't find value in that, then something's wrong, right? We're doing something wrong, right? And so I feel like I think you said it right. We need to do, I think, a better job of showing that, because I
Ah,
feel like when we create these separate tools and we sort of, we do it because that's what's expected of us, but I feel like we're feeding into that mindset of
mm.
we're separate from everyone else, when really we should be trying to push. Yeah, sometimes we need separate tools and separate things, pep permits and JSAs and things like that, maybe, but sometimes it might make sense, hey, could we integrate this into the other stuff and maybe use what we're doing to help improve what you're doing? And maybe if we put it all together into this one thing, it actually would improve multiple elements of safety, quality, productivity, etc.
Yeah, kind of like putting your personal protective equipment usage and your lockout tagout instructions into a work instruction
Yeah,
that already exists in the organization, because the work instruction teaches people how to do the job. And as a result, safety being part of that job, rather than having a separate document, you have it all lined out right there. This is what you're going to do. This is how you do it. By the way, or not even by the way, but that includes this, and this, how you check to make sure things are safe before you work, how you make sure that if you are going to have to wear PPE, what it is and how you do it properly and when you do it. And if you're dealing with any kind of de-energized situation, how you go about making sure of that as part of a routine maintenance or troubleshooting or anything along those lines. And I tell you, that does put that integration within it. And that I think could be a value. I'm thinking just of a foundational thing, just like that as an example. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think the more we can show that we have tools that can help make that happen, like you mentioned before, kind of the analysis methods that we may use to come up with our own work instructions just for the safety stuff. But hey, we can do that for everything, right? We can use those tools for all the elements of it, and just kind of changing the language a little bit. Maybe not talking about hazards and risks, but asking the quality people, hey, what's your language that you would use to describe this? Or the operations people, what's the language you would use to describe the things you're doing? It's similar stuff, it's just we're using different terms, and I feel like we can maybe lead that conversation.
Yeah, that's a great thought. And in fact, since we are on a recording right now, what would be really cool is the people who are watching this, if they would just take one thought, one idea, and put it in an email to us, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
We could maybe compile these things and actually do a future recording that people can go, hey, there's some nuggets of ideas here that I could really use, or we could publish it out there and say, this is what people provided as input. So do feel free to do that. I think that's great, because I've come across a lot of safety professionals who have thought of all sorts of different ways of doing things to get that integrated within. And it shows the non-safety professional the value a safety person brings. That, gee, we are thinking about things other than a code and a regulation, and that's it, that kind of thing. So
Absolutely. I love it. I love it.
good
Yeah.
deal.
And I love just, maybe it kind of as the final thought, I know we're trying
Yeah.
to wrap up, is I love that you are framing this as what can we do? Because too often I see safety professionals just throw their arms up. Oh, the organization won't listen to me. Well, maybe we need to change the way we're talking to them then. The language we're using, the people we're talking to, how we're approaching them. And I think, because I always go back to control what you can control.
Hmm.
I can't control what other people do or do not listen to, but I can
Right.
control what I'm saying to them. And so maybe if they're not hearing me, maybe I need to adjust my message.
Yeah. Oh, great, great. Well, thank you, Ron. Always appreciative of the conversation. Look forward to the next one in the series, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.
Thank you.